The darkest web.
Hello, faithful minions. I'm back. I missed blabbing to you all in the last Hauntcast. My humble little web got flooded and washed this spider out. But my web is now dried up, I'm beginning to rebuild, and it's a new year. So let's kick off 2020 by talking about some cool, creepy stuff from around the web. I have a handful of blogs that I check in with regularly, but I'm looking to add a few more. If you are too, then maybe give these a look. If you're a haunt party thrower, like your humble webmistress, then I recommend you visit eatthedead.com. This website is run by Helen Dye, who has worked in Hollywood for over 15 years on film and TV, mostly horror films. She is all about putting the gore in gourmet. She's created a nice assortment of awesome recipes that would make your haunted snack table a real standout. But that's not all. This site also features some fun prop and craft ideas with detailed tutorials. My favorites are the Alien Chestburster Christmas Sweater and the Cozy Cauldron Cave, which is an adorable bed she made for her beloved pup Lucifer, the Lord of Barkness. You know, that little cauldron cave would work great for my new cat familiar. By the way, if you hear whining and crying in the background, that's just my kitty. I apologize. She really hates it when I shut her out of the office. Anyway, that web address is eatthedead.com. I would also like to recommend Shivers of Delight. This blog highlights all kinds of artists and small businesses that create dark art and spooky stuff. There are new posts on this blog almost every single day, Monday through Friday, so there's a ton of stuff to check out. That web address is shiversofdelight.blogspot.com. The second season of Castle Rock is available on Hulu, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. This is a series that is inspired by characters, settings, and themes from the stories of Stephen King. This season focuses largely on the character Annie Wilkes, the main baddie from Stephen King's Misery. In this imagining, she's a mentally ill young woman traveling across the country with her daughter, taking nursing jobs as they travel and running from something, which gets explained as the show progresses. Circumstances find her being stuck in the town of Jerusalem's Lot, which is the setting of King's novel Salem's Lot. And this series posits what might happen if Annie Wilkes had to face off against a version of the vampires from Salem's Lot. Sounds insane, I know, but in my opinion, they somehow really pulled this off. I think this is due in large part to the amazing performance of Lizzie Kaplan as Annie Wilkes. I was super skeptical because I loved Kathy Bates as Annie. But Lizzie really did a great job of honoring Kathy's performance while making the character her own. And if you enjoy King's work, I definitely recommend giving this one a watch. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is back for the second half of its second season. I started watching the first episode, which actually starts off in hell. There's some pretty creepy and gruesome imagery already, so I'm curious to see what else they have in store. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is streaming on Netflix. There are some other streaming shows that I haven't checked out yet personally, but I think might be worth mentioning. Netflix has a show simply titled Dracula. It's created by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, which is the same team that made Sherlock. That gave me hope that it could be worthwhile. However, the reviews online aren't very encouraging. It's a reinterpretation of the original novel by Bram Stoker, but most reviews are that it's really just a vehicle for showing how clever the creators think they are, rather than actually focusing on telling a good story. I may check this out just to form my own opinion, but I'm in no hurry. There's also a second season of The Terror now streaming on Hulu. I really liked the first season, which was set around the British Royal Navy's voyage to find the Northwest Passage. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea because it was very atmospheric and a slow trek through dread and mystery, but I dug it. Apparently this second season is reported to be very different in tone than the first. It's set during World War II in a Japanese-American internment camp in California. The Japanese Americans being held there are not only experiencing persecution from the American government, but also mysterious deaths that may be caused by an evil spirit. I plan to give this one a watch for sure. Again, that show is called The Terror Infamy on Hulu. Are you or someone you love into black cats in a big way? Or unique witchy-looking jewelry or spooky pieces for miniatures? take a gander at the Etsy shop called You May Design. That's capital UMAYDESIGN. This shop was featured on the Shivers of Delight blog, and I'm really digging their work. The seller lives in Turkey, however, they do offer express shipping. Their work is a mixture of polymer clay, natural materials like abalone and sterling silver, and raw gemstones and minerals like amethyst, quartz, citrine, and moonstone. This isn't cutesy pie stuff, it's dark and captivating. Their prices range from $30 to over $200 for a jewelry set, so this would make a really nice gift for that spooky person in your life. Or, treat yourself. That's You May Design on Etsy. So while we've been apart, dear minions, aside from having a flooded house, I've also had a house of illness. Gotta love flu season. And it got me thinking, while hacking and creating mountains of crumpled Kleenex, the plague doctor's gotta be one of the creepiest looking historical figures of all time. I mean, if you're sick as hell and some guy in a plague doctor getup appears, that might be just enough to push you right over the edge. He's clearly the Grim Reaper's cousin. And that got me going on a plague doctor Googling spree, which resulted in me finding the following sites that you should check out. There's a pretty fascinating article all about plague doctors on a website called Ancient Origins. Turns out that classic plague doctor uniform was created in 1619 by Louis XIII's chief physician. Before then, there were a variety of different ensembles worn to try and stave off the illness, but neither those nor the well-known mask and robe worked at all, of course. The beak part of the mask was filled with perfumes, flowers, and herbs to help fight off what they believed caused the illness, miasma, or bad air. If only spraying a little Febreze was enough to avoid catching disease. Anyway, the article's really interesting and well worth a look. That's ancient-origins.net, and then do a search for plague doctors, or you can just get the direct link in the show notes. There's a sign on Etsy that would be a great reminder to hang in your bathroom or workplace or anywhere else germs run rampant. It features the words, "Wash your hands," flanked by 2 plague doctors. You can purchase a poster for $18 or buy the instant download and print your own sign for only $1.50. Just search for Plague Wash Your Hands sign on Etsy and it'll pop right up, or you can follow the link in the show notes. If you need a new scented candle to stave off the miasma in your dungeon, take a look at an Etsy shop called The Resurrectionist. The U in Resurrectionist is a V, so that's spelled RESVRRECTIONIST. Shop owner Lisa creates really lovely witchcrafted candles, which are suitably spooky for the likes of us haunters. And she has one called Plague Doctor that I think I need. It's scented with sandalwood, rose, spiced woods, sage, clove, and incense, which sounds like a perfect witchcrafty Halloween scent combination to me. Again, finding the link in the show notes might be the easiest route to find this one. Finally, before I wrap up, I want to give a shout out to a home haunt and YouTube channel, Oak Lane Cemetery. Located in Hopewell, Virginia, this haunt is put together by Greg Cummings. He started out with a modest display in 2007 and has greatly expanded and improved his display in the last few years. Give the Oak Lane Cemetery 2019 Halloween display video a watch. He has a nice collection of fun props and effective lighting. My favorite pieces are the grave-digging skeleton, and the skeleton that's pulling another skelly out of a busted coffin, and the cauldron creep that's stirring a nice, steaming, glowing stew of bones. The channel has several nice tutorial videos, including a really good one about how to make vines or roots out of pool noodles and plastic wrap. That's Oak Lane Cemetery on YouTube and Facebook. And with that, my creepy cuties, it's time to get back to rebuilding my little washed-out home. I look forward to next time when I'll have a whole new batch of virtual treats waiting, right here in the darkest web.
I'm going now. Heaven help you.
Please like and follow the podcast. Stalk us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links in the description. And help us by sharing Hauntcast with all your haunted Halloween brethren. Until next time, stay scary.